And welcome back to Empower Evolution Common Sense. My name is Jason Davis, and you're hearing Empower Evolution. This is our Common Sense, and we're coming to you hidden in an undisclosed location in an iron bunker in the western highlands of Volusia County, and we're guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 1 crazy cat. That's right, that old crazy cat's still hanging around here. And you can hear us on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on iTunes and iPods and iClouds and oh my, we're everywhere there is out there in the old internet, and we're doing our job. And we're talking to you and bringing you the truth, the justice, the great American way. And that's right, October 31st, 2019, that's tomorrow, because today's date is October 30th. And what day is tomorrow? Well, it's the day that all the little kitties, well, they'll dress up in their favorite characters and go out and knock on your door and say trick or treat, to where you have to give them candy. That's right. Oh, what a great way to promote juvenile diabetes, actually. Yeah, but it's also another interesting day, and it's in our nation's capital. And let's see, what are we doing tomorrow in our nation's capital? So many questions, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's within the House of Representatives. They will vote on rules to start an impeachment inquiry for the President of the United States of America. Wow.
There you go again.
Yes, there they go again, trying to impeach the President once again. Of course, there's nothing more than a sham in the first place. The House of Representatives, the Democrats' house, shall we say, they've been trying to impeach the President of the United States since November of 2016. This is what, number 6? This is actually, they started doing this after, literally, the day after he was elected as president. That's right, poor little babies. But of course, and yeah, you know all about this, of course. And unless you've been living on a desert island somewhere with no electricity, cell phone, or television, just trying to work on that new Green Deal. That's right. Unless you're a new Green Dealer, you already know all this. So as I said earlier, today's date is October 30th, 2019. So tomorrow, when they have their floor vote in the House of Representatives, they're going to set up these. They're really arbitrary rules to do an impeachment inquiry. They really are. Of course, you can look up the resolution on the web and for that particular vote. And you will find that all 6 committees that are investigating the President of the United States for impeachment. What you say? Did I say 6? Yes, you heard me right. 6 committees are investigating our president for impeachment. Think that through for a minute. And that would make it like the 12 different attempts to impeach the president, because they've already tried it 6 times before. Now we've got 6 committees doing it now. Really? Are you really that hateful of the president? Anyways, all of them will funnel all of their data into the Judiciary Committee, and we're the lead Democrat, Mr. Nadler, for him to oversee in this quote unquote unbiased process, as they're trying to pass it off as. So apparently October 31st, Halloween of this year, the House of Representatives, they're all going to come dressed up as, well, clowns. That's right, as they bring forth to the floor a resolution that will limit even further involvement of the Republican Party in this impartial, unbiased impeachment process. And what do I mean by further limit? Well, the resolution gives the chairman of the Intel Committee, Adam Schiff, Democrat of California, the sole power to allow Republican leadership to subpoena and bring forth rebuttal witnesses. It states that he can either approve or disapprove of these witnesses. Talk about stacking the deck. Wow. It also limits the questions that the Republicans can actually ask of any witness that's there. It gives each the chairman and the vice chairman, or the lead Democrat and the lead highest-ranking Republican there, Mr. Can't remember the name here off the top of my head. I can see him in my brain. I know who he is. But anyways, they both have 90 minutes to discuss or to question, and any witness there, only if, we'll just say only if Mr. Schiff really wants to let that happen. So once again, stacking the deck. So to continue on with this process, the Democrats will need 218 votes to pass this resolution. That's right. They'll need two-thirds. Two-thirds of vote of the House. This resolution, though, does not state if it doesn't pass, the investigation ends. It doesn't say that. This is very well written so that this resolution did not, if it doesn't pass, the investigations will continue. And Adam Schiff will still have the bully pulpit to leak. Yes, I said leak information to the media to justify his position on impeachment inquiry. So, do the Democrats actually have 218 votes? Well, not too far in the past, they may have had it, but with the passing of Elijah Cummings, they have lost one vote. Someone said, "Oh, but he has a proxy." You don't get to have a proxy in the House of Representatives. It's not that way. You have to. It's for elected officials from the district have to vote, which means all representatives that are out on the campaign trail have to come back from the campaign trail for the Democratic Party to vote on this issue, because the vote only counts if you're on the floor. Yep. And they are one less vote due to the passing of Mr. Cummings. Now, the 218 votes is two-thirds of the House of Representatives. The Democrats do not hold two-thirds of the seats in the House of Representatives. This means that roughly 31, I say about 31, I'm recalling, I may be wrong, but I believe it's 31 Republicans and independents will have to jump the aisle and vote for this resolution. And I am sure that all of these representatives up there know that they're all to be reelected in 2020. That's right. Every single representative has to be reelected every 2 years. They're on 2-year terms. So they have to be out on the campaign trail, trying to raise money and get reelected every 2 years. You know the deal. We don't see these guys around until it's getting close to the to the election cycle, of course. So anyways, so a big warning to all those Republicans in Republican-heavy districts: you vote to impeach the president or even continue with this inquiry, your reelection will probably be in jeopardy. Probably so. So I think I pretty well said that one outright, didn't I?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
You know, I'm not pushing out any threats. Nope, we're just stating a fact that these heavy Republican districts voted for you, and they voted for Donald Trump. And if you become a turncoat, believe me, the voters of America will latch on to that, and you may be looking for another job. Although the benefit of this resolution will be that all future inquiries and witnesses will be interviewed in open chambers, and according to the talking heads on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, everybody, all transcripts will be open to public viewing. So in other words, we'll know what everybody said. But it's different when you read it than when they say it. Okay, so as we have seen, no more breaking the law for Mr. Schiff. He's been breaking the law. He's been releasing information from closed-door depositions. This is like a grand jury investigation into a crime to see if there are charges to be brought forth. And the jurists are speaking about these cases. That's illegal. As a matter of fact, that's very, very illegal. It is a felony, especially when Adam Schiff releases just little tidbits of information just to enforce, his narrative. Which brings to mind another question. So many questions, and so small brains with very few answers. Who is this? Who was this infamous whistleblower? Now that Adam Schiff himself has said in his leaking to the media, we don't even need the whistleblower anymore. But wait, who was this whistleblower? Was there even any whistleblower? I want you to think that through for a second there, my dear friends. Was there ever a whistleblower? In all the years that I've been following politics, never has there ever been a whistleblower that did not immediately go to CNN, ABC, NBC, or one of the other mainstream media outlets and be in that, that shadow behind the screen, with a distorted voice talking about what they testified to or wrote on their whistleblower forms. I have never seen that not happen. It's happened every time you turn around in D.C., somebody's talking. And the whistleblower did not even follow the appropriate protocol, which was pointed out to this morning on the 30th of October, that there's a process that every employee in a county government, a city government, a state government, or the federal government, what the process for whistleblowing is. There's a class everybody takes. I had to take it for whistleblower. If you want to be, if you think you're going to do a whistleblower, you take the class anyways. It's just for information so you know the process. So the whistleblower didn't even follow the appropriate protocols to file a whistleblower report. So let's try this here, folks. Let me just throw this out there for you. Adam Schiff, just a scenario. Do not know if this is a fact. Total speculation, but you know what? The facts are starting to fit. Adam Schiff got wind because he is the intelligence chairman and he has access to secret information from the White House. He got wind, second or third hand somewhere, probably second hand, about a conversation the president had with the president of the Ukraine. Of course, somebody misunderstood what was being said, even though they were probably listening to it right then and there. Okay? But his absolute vitriol or hatred for the president of the United States and the fact that he won an election against his very best friend, Miss Hillary Clinton, who was probably helping him out with who knows what, went to his own staff and said, here's a plan, and here's what we're going to do. You direct one of your other friends somewhere. Go file this report. So then Mr. Schiff opens up his, he says, take them to an attorney and help them write and file this report on the information given to them by their boss, Adam Schiff. Let's try that again. Have them go to an attorney to write up and file a report on the information given to them by their boss, Adam Schiff. By the way, who would not follow the directives of their boss who's paying their paychecks and says, you go do this, because if you don't do this, you're fired. Then Mr. Schiff gets the report, and he opens up his investigations on the Intel Committee, stating, I have the whistleblower report. I have the smoking gun. He then makes up his own scenario as to what was actually supposed to have happened on that conversation. That's why he had his scenario. This lays into the fact that, we're going to have a meeting about this whistleblower report. We're going to bring it forth, and this is what's going to happen. And that day before, the White House released the transcripts. But Adam Schiff had already practiced his speech and didn't think anybody else read it or just forgot anybody didn't read it and gave his world-famous, you remember the statement, right? The president said, I'm going to ask you a favor, and I want you to listen good because I'm only going to say it 9 more times. That was Adam Schiff talking in, as he said, in parody of, that's not what you do. That's a violation of the law, by the way, Mr. Schiff. You lied before Congress and the American people. You need to resign your position. But anyways, he should be held in contempt because it was after the release of the phone call transcript, and everybody knew that is not what Mr. Trump said. Not even close. It was just ridiculous.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Which, by the way, you can listen to a reading of that transcript right here on this podcast in the archives under the Ukraine transcript. I read it, and it took 27 minutes to read it. I do not, and the time frame on that transcript is 33 minutes. I'll give it 6 minutes because in there it says the president laughed. And I am not a Ukrainian speaking in broken thinking. I mean, we've all heard him talk. And he leaves big pauses because he's trying to translate Ukrainian to English, which I'm sure is not a really easy task. But anyways, I'm going to have to get this microphone fixed out of my face a little bit. Sorry about that, folks. I just kind of bumped my glasses onto the microphone a little bit. So anyways, you can listen to it, and it took 27 minutes to read it. It's actually a 33-minute conversation, but I didn't give the broken English and the laughter that the president had. So there you go. I read it quite quickly because I don't have hours and hours to read documents like that online, so I read it as fast as I could, possibly mispronouncing some words. No, actually, I know I did, and I missed some things, but that's okay. I mean, I got all the words there, but even then, it still only took 27 minutes. You get the gist of what the conversation is really all about. There is not 20 minutes missing. As the Republicans are saying, there's 20 minutes missing. There isn't. At no time did Mr. Trump ever say, I want you to dig up dirt on my opponent, because you know what? He doesn't have an opponent, folks. There are 7 people or 14 people or whatever the Democrats are throwing out there today. I mean, at one time it was like 22 people running for the Democratic ticket. Who is his opponent? We don't know. So he doesn't have an opponent to dig up dirt on. Because I'm honestly thinking that Joe Biden's going to drop out, folks. He's just not going to make it. That's right. So, anyways, he actually said, I want you to look into this corruption thing with CrowdStrike. Yeah. To which the president of the Ukraine said, yes, I agree, and I'm looking into it. So that was it. There's no quid pro quo or nothing. So, but anyways, digressing. Adam Schiff read this fantasized transcript that he had, and he perceived it to be from his conversation from actual intel officers that may have been sitting in that room listening to the phone call as they are supposed to. And hence now, ladies and gentlemen, he gets this piece of paper. He's got his whistleblower, he's got his fake transcript of what's going on, and now we let the games begin.
Let's get ready to rumble!
That's right. But all things aside, Mr. Schiff is actually kind of right. What? What did I say? Schiff was right? Yeah, he's correct in only one aspect of this whole discussion. We no longer need the whistleblower. No. As I said earlier, he said, we don't need the whistleblower anymore. Why? And I said, because he's the whistleblower. I'm pointing the finger at Mr. Schiff. This is all concocted up by Mr. Schiff and his staff to create a fake whistleblower, to leak it out to the media that there's a whistleblower, like he does all the time, and then it comes around full circle because now he knows he doesn't need the whistleblower. You're right, you don't need the whistleblower, due to the fact that we have the actual record, the transcript of the phone call. Anything any witness may have to say or whistleblower may have written down is totally and completely debunked because you have the one and only piece of evidence in this impeachment case. Only one piece of evidence, and it's called the transcript. The transcript of the Ukrainian phone call, which is a legal and binding record of the phone call. Let me try that one again for all you people that are out there that are on the fence or leaning left. This is the only legal and binding record of that phone call. There is no weapon. There's no forensic evidence involving this impeachment case. There's just a phone call. The end. Nothing more. And you have the transcript released by the White House and declassified. There are no black marks on this piece of paper. So, anything that is said by any witness as to what the president may have meant, or what they believe, or how they felt, or what their opinion is all really just hearsay and actually not admissible in any court of law. You can't go into court and say, I feel that that person committed murder. That's what basis of fact? Well, let's just try that. I feel that the President of the United States committed a high crime or misdemeanor. I had to think of the word there for a moment, sorry. What high crime or misdemeanor? Here is the facts, the phone call. There is no high crime or misdemeanor there. What are you talking about? The end. And when you do a little bit of a deep dive into some of these witnesses, these are people that might have had an axe to grind, so to speak, with the president. They were released from their duties for not performing as per his request. A couple of them he fired. Or they are holdovers from the Obama administration. Who wouldn't want them removed from their position? Let's be real, folks. Obama administration people here, I'm going to replace you with my people. That's what the president does. That's part of his wonderful authority that he can do. Obama did it when he took over. He wiped out all the Republicans. Anybody that had anything to do with the Republican Party, you're gone. So he did the same. Or they had words with the president. A couple of them had discussions over the table. And he says, you know what, we're done. You're done. I don't need any arguments. And that's his prerogative. Yeah. Or there could be several other reasons people just quit. They don't want to work there. Okay. A disgruntled employee does not make a good witness against the boss. It doesn't do it. And there are quite a few of them. And as we have been told, quite a few of these people also have a political bias against the president. Hence, you fired the Obama holdovers. They're also bad witnesses because they're going to say whatever they want to say, whatever you want them to say to get your point, your agenda across, Mr. Schiff. Yes, that's why you're bringing them in. So when you boil this right down to the base and evaporate all the Bravo Sierra, and that's for all my military brothers and sisters, you have one piece of evidence, the actual transcript of the telephone call. That's it, folks. Nothing else.
Go ahead. Make my day.
And when most of these people are screaming impeachment are confronted with this one phone call, and the actual transcript of what was said, they have nothing to say. Not a damn thing, which is it's really kind of funny. When you actually ask them, but did you read the transcript? And I have done this, yes. I've asked these people who are raising a fuss about this phone call, and I ask them, have you read the transcript? Their eyes glaze over. They get this really stupefied look on their face. And they say, no. Well, if you want the truth, folks, you need to actually do a little research, and you actually need to read the transcript.
You can't handle the truth.
Even Adam Schiff has never read this transcript. And we know this for the fact just because of his arguments and discussions and leaking of information from closed-door testimony, which I've already pointed out. They're supposed to be kept secret. Adam Schiff, quit breaking the law. No one's above the law, as you have stated, and you need to be charged with that particular violation. Just a case in point, if there's any FBI listening, pick him up. He needs to go to jail. So now that I've ranted and raved on about impeachment process, because it takes up a lot of our local as well as national news. I have to ask you, the listener, one question. After we're done with all this impeachment, what has our Congress done for the past 3+ years for you? Huh? What have they done for you?
I'm so stupid as a stupid does.
That's right. Well over 90% of the elected officials in our Congress have stated we need to secure our border, build a wall, and stop illegal immigration. Every past president has said the same thing. And now we have a president that can actually start doing this. And they start screaming immigration issues, separation of children from families, on and on and on and on and on, all the other Bravo Sierra. But has Congress done any type of immigration reform? Their job? Nope. And I don't know when this happened, but for some reason, health care insurance is the highest priority of everybody in this country. I'm telling you, crazy how all of a sudden, everybody has health care. Everybody's having I don't want to say a bad word there, like a heart attack or anything, but everybody's having a fit over health care. The previous administration and Congress supported and voted and approved and signed into law Obamacare. Yay. But it jacked the price of insurance up so high nobody can afford it. And instead of having only 20 to 25 million people without health care insurance, There's almost 45 million people now without health care insurance. Oh, enter President Donald Trump, who for one of his first acts was to get rid of the mandatory health care insurance ruling in Obamacare. And guess what? It started to drive the insurance costs down. You can almost afford it now. Yet, when it's confronted to Congress to do some sort of health care reform, they say they want to impeach Trump. When President Trump got into office, he promised the American people he would lower taxes, and he did. Now the Congress is having a fit that he's supporting the billionaires of this country. All 55 of them. They're only 55 billion. Only 55 billionaires. They refuse to let you know or even talk about the fact that our income tax bill has been reduced all the way from the lowest wage earning person in the United States all the way to the billionaires, putting more money in their pocket, check to check, everybody, and reducing our tax burden, well, at the end of the year. They don't, they like to make little sound bites that a rising tide raises all boats, except they don't want to also let you know that when the tide goes out and things are reduced, it lowers all boats too. So that tax deduction reduces everyone's tax burden. One could go on for hours counting and raising the praise of all the great accomplishments that this one president has done in 3 years under such great duress. One of the very few presidents in our history that's ever done what he said he was going to do and promised to do. I do believe Ronald Reagan said it best when he asked this one question: are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? The answer to that is yes. So guess what, America? You might not like to hear this, but guess what? It's time to wake up, America. So this November, folks, you need to really think this through. Do the research. Look at who is doing what in Congress. Is your representative fighting the president? Is your representative supporting and trying to get something done up there? We pay these people over $170,000 per year to sit around and in Congress for roughly 7 to 8 months a year. That's it. They take a lot of vacation time. They certainly do. They call it in-district time. But they're really back home just partying it down. And we pay them to just get up there and make laws for our country and our citizens. They're doing a lousy job right now because those that are in power, the Democrats on the House side, have the majority. They are fighting everybody at every turn. So do your research. Find out who's doing their job and who's not. Who is out there trying to help this country, not just there to fight the president. I think about those who are offering you free everything. Think about those people. These are things that they can't produce. They cannot produce, I say, because it's not within the authority of the President of the United States. In other words, folks, when you go into that voting booth to put your little mark on that little piece of paper to elect senators, representatives, and even the president, please, folks, do your research and just use a little common sense.